富、名声、力、この世の全てを手に入れた男、海賊王ゴールド・ロジャー。彼の死に際に放った一言は人々を海へ駆り立てた。
俺の財宝か？欲しけりゃくれてやる。探せ、この世の全てをそこに置いてきた。
What's up, One Piece Pirate fans? This is One Piece Chino. We are here at Cryptic Collections with the owner Lenny over there, which is not used to be shared out later. But today we have our Treasure Cup winner, Mark, and he's playing.
Got Bonney today.
All right then. So when you play our leader, what do you like to go, first or second?
Definitely second. I feel like it fits our curve pretty well, for sure.
Okay. And what was your matches today?
So first match was against Anel. Second was Rob Lucci. Then we faced a Reparable Law, and then finish it off with another Anel. So definitely some tough matches.
That sounds very tough. That sounds real hard, but you prevailed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So let's see what's in your deck today.
So we're starting off with our only event in the deck. We've got 2 copies of our zero cost event. Don Quixote searchable, so we have the Baby 5 searcher package, so it is searchable. We do run a little bit of bricks in our top end, but we kind of balance that off with a lot of blockers in the deck as well as a lot of searchable 2K counters. So 2 copies feels pretty good. You definitely could bump it up to 3, but I don't think you could work with 2 or 3 for sure.
All right then.
Next, we've got our first searcher of the deck. We've got our Jewelry Bonney for our Supernova package. So many matches you need your Basil Hawkins, so finding that early and getting it on the board as early as possible definitely helps, especially against Anel, Rob Lucci. It's a very sticky body that's 7k power, so definitely want to find that first. Going on to our second searcher, we've got Baby 5. So for our Don Quixote package, a lot of matchups, the 10 cost feels great in, honestly feels necessary. Hitting Rob Lucci with a 10 cost is probably our best top end, so they don't get the free -1 from any leader swing, as well as shutting down any of their Gecko Morias, even a Brook. Shutting down a Brook and a leader swing with a 10-drop go feed is crucial in my opinion, so definitely want to run those 2 package searchers. It does mean we have to split our 2Ks a little bit, so firstly we've got Baby 5 2K running 3 copies.
And which Baby 5 would that be?
So that'll be the 2K Baby 5. So you can search Baby 5 with Baby 5. So we're running, I think, total 13 2Ks.
That's a lot of 2Ks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But a lot of matchups, we want to find our 8-drop kit too. So being able to defend does help a little bit. Baby 5 does have an effect. Pretty much just pitching in for the 2K. Restanding Dawn by trashing her. I mean, I'd rather just have the 2K counter. We have other things in the deck to kind of restand our Dawn for leader ability. So that's our first 2K. Next, we got 3 copies of Scratchman of Pooh. I think I'm running like 2 of the EVO 1 and then 1 of the starter deck just because I got the fancy one. It is our only searchable 2K counter from our Supernova package, but I wanted to kind of split the 2K counters so that if I only have my Baby 5 searcher or if I only have my Bonney searcher, I can still try to find a 2K counter if I need it.
So it's like a 50-50 chance of trying to find it.
It's a little bit more leaning into the Don Quixote package because with the Baby 5, we're really only finding the 10-drop and 2Ks for the most part. All of our other important bodies are going to be Supernova for the most part. So definitely wanted to lean the 2K counters more heavily to the Don Quixote side for that reason, so that if I go to find a 10-drop and whip, at least I can pick up a 2K counter. It felt pretty consistent running it because then we've got 4 copies of Viola, the 2K counter. So that puts us to 7 Don Quixote searchable 2Ks compared to our 3 for Supernova. Again, it just makes the Baby 5 searchers feel a bit more worth it because there are a lot of whiffs in this deck. We really are kind of just searching for that 10 drop. But yeah, that puts us at what? Oh no, 10 2Ks. Right, yeah, 4, 3, 3. So 10 2Ks is a pretty good number. Again, we run a lot of blockers, so super defensible even if we don't find our 2Ks, but that's the 2Ks for the deck. Moving on to the blockers, we've got 2 of our Bartolomeo. For the most part, this is just a target for 8-drop Kid, especially if we're going against Red Purple Law. He's got that 4K stat line, so he does need to commit something to bottom deck it. Playing him out a little bit earlier does help with cycle because have him on part of the male blocker, supernova searchable, and it is a 3-cost 4K power, so a target for 8-drop kid to play out. It's good into red purple law because he has to commit some kind of power reduction to bottom decking, where our other Rosinante blocker, which is a target for kid, can just free bottom deck it. His effect does come into play a little bit with our searchers, since they rest themselves to search. We get a little bit of draw and cycle, but for the most part.
I have a question for you. So I see some people play maybe 3 of those instead of and run maybe one less Rosinante, the 2-cost one. How come you do 2 of that but not 3?
So for the most part, I'm seeing a lot less red purple law, especially with the ban coming up. So I felt comfortable dropping it down to 2. I kind of find it when I need to based off the body searcher. You know, if I'm going into a red purple law, it's definitely something that I kind of consider searching for off the body. But again, priority is probably the Hawkins. But yeah, definitely there is room to put it to 3. Like I'll say, the 9-drop Zoro we'll get into, totally cuttable in this deck, even though it's great into mirror matchup, it's great into Enel. It is kind of like a win more card from some other body players been talking about it, so I'll just echo that. The 9-drop Zoro definitely is great, but it's not necessary for a lot of matchups. So you could cut that, add maybe 1 more of that if you wanted another blocker, but 2 copies kind of works right now with the 4 Bonney to search it out. Speaking of the Rosinante, I do run 3 copies. Again, searchable by Baby 5, so it is another target for that. It's great to play off of Kid, especially into any Enel matchup, and if they're going to Raigo your Kid. If you're playing against Lucci, you know, this really helps protect the 8-drop kid. It's a great target, but 3 copies because it's searchable, and for the most part, you're really just looking to play it off of your 8-drop kid. So other than that, you don't need 4 copies for that reason. Next, getting into our bodies, our last blocker, I should say. We got a Rouge, 4 copies. Probably one of the best staples in the deck right now for our 4-Don turn going second. You know, you can play out a Rouge and then his effect resends a Don and a turn. If we're playing on curve, you know, for the most part, past 4-Don, you can have 1 extra Don, a lot of 5 drops for a 6 on turn, you know. But a Rouge helps us play out Hawkins on 6 Don and still have 1 up for leader ability. But it is a searchable blocker. He's 5K power, so he can still swing. And just really great to see Rouge early. That's why 4 copies. It is a little bit trickier of a card to play out later into the game. Definitely through blockering up to play more defensively. But you kind of want to see him early. Next, I've got 2 of the Jewelry Bonney 5-drops. This is another card where it really helps us the most in our matchup that we were already kind of favored into, the Black Yellow Luffy. We can keep them off of their 10 Don so they can't leader ability and Gecko Moria. We already have a good time in that matchup. It's all good. I can. We got 2 Jewelry Bonney 5-drop. Not super necessary in a lot of matchups. It's really good for Black Yellow Luffy, but we already have a good time in that matchup anyway. But it helps us keep yellow matches off of their 10 drops, like a 10-drop Ace, for example, or Black Yellow Luffy. They can't use leader ability and Gecko Moria, but we already have a good time into Black Yellow Luffy. So just 2 copies of that right now. Next, we've got probably the most important card, past Hawkins, and one that everyone loves to remove. We got our Cavendish, 4 copies. Really great for keeping leader ability online consistently on play and when attacking, resetting to Don. It really helps us be super Don efficient. If you're going onto your 8 Don play, you can actually play out a Cavendish for 5 Don, restand 2 to go back up to 5, and then combo it out with another 5-drop of Bonney. Pretty decent combo, but it's just super good to be Don efficient in this deck. Next, we've got our 4 Hawkins, probably one of the best cards in this deck. It is so hard to remove currently in set 7. A little bit easier in set 8 with Jack and some other events, but right now, super hard to remove. He's a blocker, 7K stat line, so great to swing with. Can't be afraid to swing with him, but yeah, definitely want to see this. It is a dead card in hand, so don't want to search too much, but having 2 on the board pretty much is game over for a lot of matches. Next we've got 2 Captain Kids, the 8-drop. I'm only running 2 because when we got the Bonney Searcher, if I know I'm going to be using this in a match, I'm going to try and find it early with Bonney. We have a lot of chances to, at least. Running it at 3 just felt like too dead because realistically you're only going to play 1 in a match, so you only need to find it once. So having it at 3 felt like I was finding it too much, so just 2 copies for that. Next we've got our 4 Hody Jones. I mean, it's Hody Jones, rest of Don, rest of blocker. It's great in the mirror matchup. It's great into Lucci, resting like 2 of their blockers. A lot of times people bank on you not having this, so finding this, like mulliganing for this is actually kind of important in some matchups. Definitely in the mirror match to rest of Don. It can make clearing board a lot easier in a mirror matchup. So 4 copies for sure. I know some people cut it to 3, but I think it's too important. Next we got our 2 Zorro. Again, I think you could cut this. It's kind of a win more card for a lot of matchups if you're playing smart and utilizing your other big bodies, but it really does help in the mirror match and an L, as long as they don't bait you.
And also, it's also good against Nami too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nami, for this and Hody Jones, is great against Nami, honestly. But no more than 2. I tried it at 3 copies for a bit, but I felt like it was too much, so I'm just running at 2. And then we got our final card. We got our 10-drop Doflamingo. Honestly, this is our best piece into Lucci, I feel like, and just freezing 3 bodies can really help turn the game around for us. Search for my baby 5, so only 3 copies. Yeah, that's pretty much the deck list. Like I said, I dropped 2 of these down on my matchup in Lucci, and it pretty much felt like game over at that point. He was able to remove 1, but at that point I still had another 10-drop and a Basil Hawkins on board. So it is a bit harder for them to remove, even with stage, if I freeze their leader. So definitely want to see this in Lucci matchup. So yeah, that's my deck list.
All right, for some of the new players out there that wants to play Bonney, even though we're about to head into OPO8, what's the hand that they want to see when they start the game?
So it depends on your matchup. Always a good bet would be one of your 1 Don Searcher to help find other pieces. It depends on what matchup you're going into. Like I said, for Lucci, I want to see either the 10-drop or a baby 5 to find the 10-drop. A good piece to always have would be your Rouge, a Cavendish, or a Hawkins. Those are just universally good into pretty much any matchup. And again, you're a 5-life leader. Don't be afraid to take life, unless you're going against a blue player that might hit you with a pudding. But for the most part, we're not afraid to take our life. Because we run a lot of 2Ks, a lot of blockers in the 8-drop kid, so we're easily able to defend at 0 life. So yeah, definitely the Rouge, Cavendish, and the Hawkins for any matchup. Hody, depending, definitely for the mirror matchup. And again, Black Yellow Luffy, always good to have one of these. Yeah, definitely look for those 3.
All right, so congratulations on your win. Can you show your winner card?
Oh, yeah. I got it stored away. We got the Corona.
Oh man, look at that Corona. It looks very beautiful.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So, thank you for showing me your deck list and helping out the new future fans of One Piece Pirates here. So, this is One Piece Chino, and
Straw Hat Pecan.
make sure you follow him on YouTube.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
His name is Straw Hat Pecan.
Thank you. Yes.
Make sure you follow him on video. He also likes to help out people building decks on Bonnies, on any deck he likes to go with. And just make sure you subscribe. Thank you, and have a good day.